Me, I just go there, sit by myself a lot of times and just jump off, wait for the train to come on the other side of the platform, jump off, do a quick throw up, jump back up. But this time I was getting a train. I weren't there to do that. I was getting a train to Enfield, and I see the train land on the other platform, and I just like without thinking, I jumped down and started banging it, and didn't like totally forgot, totally went out of my mind that my train was about to arrive, innit? So my train pulled in on the other side, and I'm between them. Do you know what I mean? When you're between two trains like that, it kind of starts wobbling you, and that train drivers were screaming at me. I jumped up, kicked out, and they never really done that again. Do you know what I mean? I guess when you have that kind of fear, you don't want to do it again.
Killa Kela podcast. KillaKelaOfficial.com.
Street Culture TV.
Instagram UK Frontline.
Beatbox created.
Killa Kela.
And we're here to talk about world music and street culture.
Killa Kela podcast.
Here we go. Ladies and gentlemen, Killa Kela podcast, live and direct. Central London or as central as you need to be. Choose to be. Could be. You don't want to be anywhere else, and if you do, well, then you will be suspended from a great height in the middle of Piccadilly. Big shout out to sharers and carers. People have been clocking from a very obvious early stage, 600 podcasts, and rolling like thunder through the landscape, street culture. Subscribe, tell a friend to tell a friend. Okay, people, our sponsors, the mighty GKNIFTYHEADS, have 10,000 play-to-earn GraffPunks NFTs to give away. Get ready as London's white trash goes blockchain digital with Bitcoin Cash tokens locked into them to claim. Get yourselves over to the website GKNIFTYHEADS.com and play to earn now. Today, this is my era, man. I'm stoked he's in the building. Took a long time coming, but we got him in the end. He's a 1T family member right here. Not to mention TDO. All the A's, E's, I's, O's, U's, and sometimes Y's. He'll explain it all. It's his reach, 1T.
Yes, man. Thank you for having me.
So good to see you.
Yeah, you too, bro. Smashing it. I really appreciate what you're doing for the culture, man. It's killing it, bro. Yeah.
But thank you.
Yeah, a lot of dedication, a lot of hard work, man. It's paying off.
It's mad. It's actually, it's ironic, you know, taking the work ethic of graph writers. Just repeat, bang, bang, bang. It kind of is the formula for, you know, good working life, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely, man.
It's certainly part of a, you know, a skill set that most employees would look for, but also, you know, just good gutsy, you know, get on with the the job proper, innit?
Yeah, graffiti's definitely helps you to see more of the corners. Do you know what I mean? More of the angles in life. Definitely, I think that definitely is a part of it. You know, like a average day person does basic stuff, doesn't really commit no crime. Do you know what I mean? There's criminals. Yeah, obviously, crime definitely gives you those angles, but with graffiti, it's more like it's observation and analysing and, do you know what I mean, planning and precision. It's less. Do you know what I mean? Like for a you know, crime is, I think crime's more of a monetized thing. Do you know what I mean? You do crime to make money. Do you know what I mean? Graffiti's more like you do graffiti because you love it. You might do crime around it to, do you know what I mean, fund the graffiti that you do, or you might raise your paint, you might rob and sell and raise your paint, do you know what I mean, when you're young anyway, I guess. So, yeah, it definitely gives you a better angle. Better look at the angles of life, do you know what I mean? You can definitely see it more, read a room better. Yeah. Tell what's going on, do you know what I mean?
Totally.
Yeah.
It's a real hard knock life business, you know, the kind of stuff, almost like graffiti. And we talked about this on the podcast, well, you know, I still hold a level of truth with it. It's, you know, graph is an entry hole to that, almost like a lifestyle, like you say, that perpetuates in the
lifestyle choice, isn't it? That's what graffiti is. I think no matter what, through the years, I've been doing it for like 26, maybe 26, 27 years.
Boy.
And where I started and where I finished, it's not finished yet, but where I am now is a different place. Do you know what I mean? I've been through the rough of it. You know, when we was young, we was doing, you know, adolescent stuff and getting in trouble, and maybe we was a lot more careless because, like, well, in my crew, definitely fucking 1T, one time, big up the crew, Seal Surfs, Batteries, Ashy, Evade, all the originals, Main, Vent, Tough, like, us originals, you know, it's probably about 10, maybe 12 of us originals, Boise, big up Boise, come on. Some of us weren't even graffers, but we was definitely a rough cut bunch where we didn't really have parental guidance and, do you know what I mean? Like the necessary like barriers that probably would have prevented us from doing silly shit and going jail a lot and getting a reputation for being like a bit more of the dark side, you know, another side of graffiti. But yeah, it was definitely always a lifestyle choice, even now. Do you know what I mean? Graffiti's a way of life. Like, we went through the rough, went through the streets, do you know what I mean? Through the robbing, through the squat parties was definitely a big scene where I started to meet a lot of graffiti artists, DDS.
Crazy.
You know, where how I got introduced to 1T, WMB, there was crews from all over London, do you know what I mean? But yeah, like, as I say, you know, we do them things in your youth, and as you grow, as we grew as a crew, do you know what I mean? Things got dramatically worse and then dramatically better, and now we all sit at a table together, do you know what I mean? But we're all good, do you know what I mean? Like, say, men of God, like, that don't like veer away from the, you know, veer away from the shoplifting and the crime and the, do you know what I mean? The things that we used to see was cool and was the way to get by. We don't do that, but the graffiti is still, for me, definitely, like, for me and a good few of the original 1Ts, is still a way of life.
Through the ashes of that time and lifestyle.
Big up Spat. Spat's gone a long way with his graffiti. He's made it a way of life, do you know what I mean? Rather than a lifestyle, it's a way of life for Spat. He's gone on and done his productions and his, do you know what I mean, commissions, and he smashed it, do you know what I mean? Ree's the same, went on and done his production with T-shirts and clothing, you know, brung a lot of the writers into to get like a label going kind of thing. Like,
100%.
Which was a good inspiration for a lot of people as well.
Yeah, it was beautiful to see, you know, that kind of bringing together of
Yeah.
the real G's on the shirts.
Yeah,
so
man,
infantry big up.
definitely. He picked the right people, do you know what I mean, to go through. If I always push him to do more, maybe he will, maybe he won't. But I think it definitely give a lot of people inspiration as well in that way. I think that's a good thing within graffiti, where people say, they look to other artists, and it's inspiration, but it's almost like the courage to be able to succeed. Like, do you know what I mean? You look at Zonk now, big up Zonk,
big up
AC,
Zonk.
absolute king, like, in my eyes, top
And just
graffiti. and
escalating all the time.
It's just, he's just doing better and better, pushing himself, do you know what I mean? And it gives other writers, little kids, do you know what I mean?
An opportunity to think differently.
The courage and, do you know what I mean? The confidence to move forward and evolve with it, do you know what I mean? There's a lot of artists that are coming out now, and do you know what I mean? Well deserves time to monetize on graffiti, because it's definitely now more of a commercial thing. Do you know what I mean? It's more accepted in society now. I can see that. It went from being like, when I was a kid, like, you done a tag on a bus stop and like the woman would be like phoning the old bill or something. Do you know what I mean? You'd like definitely get a cut eye at the least, do you know what I mean? Like,
at least you were rewarded.
Now it's like, they see you do it and like, write my name, like, that's so cool. Like, so yeah, it's definitely changed in that sense of the word, man. I like it, man. It's brilliant. It's brilliant to see that it's been accepted into society rather than, do you know what I mean, frowned upon as a social, like, problem. Do you know
Do you
what I
think
mean?
some of it is, you know, we've gone through this so you don't have to kind of thing?
Potentially, yeah. Yeah, well, it's like that with anything, isn't it?
Yeah, it's just
You know what I mean?
evolution,
It's like
isn't it?
evolution, like, people stand up for something, you know? It's like the marches in London for women's rights, black rights, you know what I mean? It was an evolution of that, what got us to where we are now. So, yeah, graffiti artists but I think graffiti artists was always going to do graffiti no matter what, do you know what I mean? And time told that with the big sentences, hefty sentences that a lot of writers got through the years. And
Have you ever been bad before?
I've been nicked. I've been nicked a few times. I've always got NFA, do you know what I mean? I'm quite cottoned onto the law, do you know what I mean? But at the same time, I wouldn't count myself as, like, in my eyes, I don't know, I've looked at it as from an outside perspective. I wouldn't say I was ever, like, the priority for them, do you know what I mean? I've always been here. I've never left the graffiti. I've always had a pen. I've always done a dub every year. I've always done a little bit. I wouldn't say that I was, like, at it mad for years, but I always kept it going consistently, do you know what I mean? Whether it was a couple of dubs a year, or, do you know what I mean, a couple of pieces in legal parks, do you know what I mean, or
Just
going back
topping
to
up
the streets.
the-
For me, it was just like, I had to. As much as I went out and, like, right, you know, I'm 35 now. I've got job, kids. You know, I can't do this stuff. Like, you got the missus in the ear saying, you know, you fucking graph, right?
And now you come to mention it. That's
Writing on the walls, you fucking baby. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's hard to
feel
fucking
you.
like put the realization out there that this ain't gonna go away. Like, I'd stop doing it. Maybe go to work for 6 months. Maybe I'd work in central London, so I'd be on the trains. You know what I mean, overgrounds and on the undergrounds. I'd see this. You'd always be looking out the window at the graph, and you'd watch it for 6 months, and that'd be it. You'd be like, boiling point. You'd be like, right, I've got to fucking
do this, or
got to
else
have
we
a bit of fucking graph in my life, or I'm gonna explode. And when you do it, it's like the endorphins and the stress that it relieves takes it out of you.
I
It's
don't
like,
doubt that.
wow, do you know what I mean? Like, why wasn't I doing this 6 months ago? Because like, this is my way of releasing. I had to actually explain it to one of my ex-misses. I had to actually explain it to her, like, this will never leave me.
No.
This is like when you go and get your nails and hair done and you feel fantastic, or you go and get a spa or whatever. This is my spa, do you know what I mean? This is my release. I don't want to go and sit on a, do you know what I mean, on a bed and get fucking pampered. I want to go out and do something that fulfills my, I don't know, fulfills my energy, do you know what I mean? And makes me feel at one with myself, and that's what it does.
But what I love about the graph scene, and it still charms me even now, is that you've got all these different fractions and different people, but you know, when a burner's a burner, when a piece is a piece, there's always that, listen, got to give it to you, man, that was fucking a one.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? And that's a real good, you know, that's a communal thing, which a lot of, you know, you don't get that with fishing.
No, I don't think you get it in much in the music culture. Do you know what I mean? There's more of a competition. Do you know what I mean? I think there's definitely, in my opinion, again, it's only an opinion. I think that there's second to none when it comes to graffiti. Like, even A-list celebrities or celebrities around the world, they've got all their contacts, but you know what I mean, you can't get into certain things or certain places because of like what you're doing. But graffiti, you can go anywhere, and I've been anywhere I've been in the world. I've been to the other side of the world, New Zealand, and I met a writer outside a skate shop. Within a couple of hours, we was in a chicken shop eating food, smoking zoots. Do you know what I mean? Went round his town, done a bit of graph. It was like, do you know what I mean? Went to the pub, like, he was already bred you. Do you know what I mean? Still chat now. Amsterdam the same, Italy, Spain, France, all over the world. Do you know what I mean? You go to a graph shop, you buck up with a graph writer, and it's like you've got that common, do you know what I mean? That common ground where you can just be like, yeah, this guy's cool, he's a writer. Do you know what I mean? Might not be the fucking coolest guy in the world, but because you've got the common ground, do you know what I mean? He could be a lunatic when you're not there, but you're going to hold up that sense of I'm a grapher and this is what we represent, do you know what I mean, to each other. So
things could be tricky behind the curtain, but when you're doing graph, you're there as the writer persona, and you're there for that.
Yeah.
Oh man, it's
I
fucking
don't think
interesting.
there's another circle of people in the world that is as close as graffiti, interconnected as graffiti writers. Like, I'm from London graffiti, right? And a lot of people say that London writers never really look outside of London, and it's kind of true in a respect of like what the rest of England kind of does. We think we're the oracle of it. There's graph goes on all over the world. Do you know what I mean? But like,
when you get outside into the wider reaches of places, you then suddenly realise, well, actually, you know, I mean, you learn shit as well. You pick shit up.
Yeah, I mean, like I say, London, I'm a London grapher, but like, I probably know 90% of the writers in London have met them, do you know what I mean, through time, like before Instagram and before that, do you know what I mean, where I'd meet a writer who knew another writer, and you'd buck up, like, and you go over to Northwest, meet me rock, and then all of a sudden you was in WMB. You met all the WMB lot, do you know what I mean? Cider, flipping, do you know what I mean? All the old school writers from Northwest, like, then you went over
North Wheezy, come on.
yeah, man, represent big graffiti scene, like, do you know what I mean? The hub, in my eyes, one of the hubs of London graffiti is Northwest. You've got a lot of original crews from Northwest. Do you know what I mean? You've got the LGL, another crew that I bucked up with years ago, Scan, and I got put in LGL, met all them guys, and do you know what I mean? Go down to South, meet a few of the Southeast writers, PS, do you know what I mean? I remember back in the day being on a train on the way to, I was on the way to Barnet, I think I was going out there, I was just on a solo one, and I got on the train at Camden or something, and I met these young about 6 young youths, and they were young, they were younger than me. They were about 13, 14. I was about 15, maybe 16. And they were flipping the old the advertisement boards on the tubes,
Upside
and
down
they were
then,
graphing them and putting them back. And it was NRS, no more show,
Stop
Vino and that. Like real writers from South London. I was like, well, you lot are NRS, and went out for the day, like went and clapped some paint with them. Do you know what I mean? By the end of the day that I'd left, they set me in NRS. So like over the years, as a London graphie, you go round and you meet. Do you know what I mean? You buck up with everyone to the point where now I'm like, yeah, probably know like.
But there is
90% because there's a lot of new young writers now, but the writers from like the 90s, the noughties into the like teens, you know what I mean? Definitely know, I'd say 80 or 90% of them just by, do you know what I mean, moving along the way. So yeah,
that's crazy though.
So, and I'm not the only one, do you know what I mean? Everyone that I speak to, like, you know, Hot You, do you know what I mean? Yeah, I know Hot You. Like I was out with Image. I didn't know Image knew Hot You, and like met them, and he was like, "Yeah, that's Hot You." I was like, well, "How do you know him?" Do you know what I mean? But that's what it is. It's like an integrated like society. It's like the mushrooms under the ground. 100%. Do you know what I mean? We're like the fungi under the ground, and we all connect, and we all know each other, and like it moves into the music thing as well, like the hip hop. Like we know each other from the kung fu days.
That's
do you know
right.
what I mean?
The
original,
golden.
do you know what I mean?
Pick up
Paving
under
the
World
way,
Count,
like,
didn't you? What time it is? Come on.
Yeah, man. I remember things like
dude.
Solo said to me back then. He was like, "Where can you see hip hop in like 10 years or something?" And I was like, in kung fu. He's like, "No, it's going to be like America, and there's going to be like chains and cars." And
you were like,
I was
it's
like,
in kung fu.
"Nah, what are you on about, Solo?" And lo and behold, 10, 12 years later, he was exactly right. The grime went into the scene of like hip hop, went into grime went into like commercial, and he was right where it is now. But they were the foundations of our culture. Do you know what I mean? The kung fu's, what was the Roger Muffin O-Bar thing? Do you know what I mean?
Ugh, O-Bar, jeez, yeah, of course.
Yeah, Roger Muffin.
You know you're OG when you say those. When you say that, the words O-Bar.
Man, original
That's
days,
fucking
you know what I mean?
great.
Mud Fam, Mud Love, big up Mud Fam.
Big up Mud Love. Big up Intense and Bury Crew, and you know what I mean. Just people that really made the.
So you end up, do you know what I mean? Like you know them, I know them, we know each other. Do you know what I mean? It is a very big like underground scene, and I can see now why people find it very cool and very like something they want to get into. Do you know what I mean? Because it is. It's been our way of life and our culture for years. But people are like, do you know what I mean? They're grasping for it now because it's like it's something that's got value. Do you know what I mean? Rather than a lot of stuff in life, it's got no density.
Yeah, there's no currency to it because you've got to actually you've got to have lived a life in it.
Yeah,
you've got to have lived it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like,
so yeah,
just come back to what you were saying earlier, because you know. The mushrooms under the ground, it's a great analogy. One Bitcoin that springs to my mind is, you know, the movie They Live, when you put the shades on.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden you see things like, and it often crosses my mind, like, how on earth are people not seeing these graph writers? And how is it you guys always connect? It's almost like some, spiritual network.
Yeah.
Of course you bump into somebody. It's fucking sod's law, isn't it?
Yeah, anywhere you go in London, like, and you could be any part of London, do you know what I mean? I'll be on a train station, if I'm getting the public transport, I'll be on a train station, walking down. I think I was in Peckham a couple of months back, and I was at Reach. Is that Jobsy from down in South
Big
East? Big up Jobsy.
I tell you, all these names we're dropping around, we'll definitely pick them up later, but these names, these are all legit.
I've got big respect for most writers in London.
What do you like to see in a writer? What do you like to see in a performance of a writer, mostly, in your experience?
I'd like to see evolve. I like to. My personal favourite thing is watching a writer, especially a young writer now these days, evolve into like, do you know what I mean? Style. Maybe it's their own style. Maybe it's a style formed by their crew. Do you know what I mean? For me, in my years, it was always like it wasn't like you had to, but it was the way to do it correctly. Do you know what I mean? It was a London style, and you either done it like that, or it just wasn't fucking right. Do you know what I mean? I got taught that by the guy who brung me into graffiti. Do you know what I mean? Before I even met any London, like these, you know what I mean, current London writers. He was like, it's just the way it's done. Do you know what I mean? You do the London style, like, and do your bit of wild style or whatever. But that was the way. Do you know what I mean? Before
Who brought you in?
Who brought me in? It was a funny story actually. Me and my brethren, Main 1T, big up Main, bro. Enough respect. Me and him went through the wars when we was kids. Went through a lot of ups and downs. Like, do you know what I mean? But we got there. Do you know what I mean? We're both smashing it now, big men. But yeah, me and Main was doing our crazy shit, and we met Main's. I'm sure you don't mind me saying this. Main's mum's boyfriend, Bill, used to write Remote. I think he was part of the original CBK crew, the Carriage Batch Kids. That's what they were called back in like
The Carriage Batch
yeah,
Kids.
Yeah, bro.
This-
He's from North London. And
Wow.
He was, do you know what I mean?
Sick.
He was in his 50s then, so he was 40s then. He was telling us
He
about
was old OG.
Yeah, he was telling about the paint racks used to be outside the petrol station in Northumberland Park. Like outside the petrol station, you have a little paint rack. How you have the newspaper racks now. Go and clap the paint from the paint rack. Him and his mate at lunchtime during school. Bunk off like school and go and paint the Northumberland Park yard. They could literally walk into it. Like
skip over the white fence or whatever.
There wasn't no like security then. Do you know what I mean? And chilling bunning suits in there. So yeah, he was the original guy that got me and Maine into graph. Like we met him. He had some sick black books. Like the geezer's a king. Like
Oh, stop it.
on a Met kind of level. Do you know what I mean? Beat boy characters filling the page with a black biro, but making it all look dope. Do you know what I mean?
Wow.
He basically gave us the inspiration to start graphing. Then we started writing. I think the first tag I wrote was Noble. It looked more like Noble because it was Nobla, and I just like after a few months maybe I was like, yeah, scratch that, and started writing Smoke. Smoke was like.
So how old are you this time?
I'd say about maybe 15.
You was
I mean,
youngster.
a few years before that, I'd dipped into a bit of graph with my mate from Tottenham, Hopper. We used to write Hopper and Hamper because we hopped over a fence and nicked a hamper, like. So that was our thing. And then back before then, my brother used to do a bit of graph, and I used to like draw a little funny face with an eye as a light, like an arrow as the eye, and like safe man, put a spliff out his mouth. So I've always been writing on walls, but yeah, I'd say when I properly got into graffiti, I was about 15. Met my brethren's mum's boyfriend. He ripped Remote, and he got us into what real graph was.
Oh man.
I started writing Noble, as I say, then Smoke.
So we're talking about 88, 89 kind of era that you started.
99.
Sorry,
yeah,
I'm throwing
I'm 40 now.
shade
yeah,
on your
41,
age,
so
brother.
99.
But this was kind of spliffy era, kind
Yeah,
of.
Spliffy, Herbie.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's where I think
come
I
on.
got the face from,
Yeah.
Herbie or something like that. So yeah, them times they were like 95, 96. And then when I got proper into graffiti, like 2000, 99, 2000,
And it
started
really was.
writing Smoke, then I started writing Reach, and I wrote it with 2 E's, and I remember I'd already kind of met 1T by then, and like met a few of the lads, and they were like, you can't write, well, one of the lads was definitely like, you can't write Reach, like it's too close to Rees, and Rees was one of the crew, like crew members, he was in jail at the time, he was like, it's too close to Rees,
right.
can't write it, and I was writing with 2 E's back then, I was like, but it's 2 E's, like the day, he was like, he's gonna kick off when he gets out of jail, and I was like, I have to face this, like he came out of jail, and that was it, me and Rees just become like, Codees.
Yeah.
That was it. From the day he come out of jail, we just hit it off, become Codees. Every day going out there, do you know what I mean? Just like going out there so we could get our food, weed, do you know what I mean? Like cooking up a munch in my yard, do you know what I mean? The good old days.
Bro,
going
you're
out
like
lines.
taking me
Yeah.
just this warm fuzz. Maybe it's because it's a Friday afternoon,
Yeah.
and there's every good reason to go for a pint afterwards. But I'm getting this warm fuzzy feeling, man, of like, Jesus fucking. I'm going in these snapshots in my mind of that whole time. And big up Reese, by the way, because like he is a general, like music producer.
man.
Get him on the
he's one of
decks,
them
get him. He
guys
just
that
does
you
it.
can do. He touch
Fucking
anything
right.
he touched turns to gold. And
Yeah.
after a few weeks of me and Reeves writing, he was like, why are you putting 2 E's in your graph? Like, it looks whack, bruv. Like, and he was like, can't do that. And he was like, and the outline's toy. And he was like, I'm sorry, Reach, but it's toy. And he gave me my first outline that actually I could work on to develop the style that I've got now. Do you know what I mean? He gave me my first outline. Wouldn't say I copied it, couldn't copy it because it was so fucking good, but tried to do my own adaptation on it. Done that for years, got a bit better, met a few more writers, then started chilling a lot with Zombie in the fucking shop down in Chrome and Black. Big up Zombie.
Yeah, the
all-time
general.
king.
There you go.
And, after a few months of me and him chilling, he threw a bit of paper in front of me as well with a Reach outline. He was like, work with that. Do you know what I mean? And that was, for me, that was the way you learnt how to do the London style. You had to bounce off of a few writers that, do you know what I mean, would show you the ways, the set ways, and you develop from that. And I noticed that I'd say 50% of the London writers that developed, do you know what I mean, came from something that someone gave to them. Do you know what I mean? And they developed it along the way. Like,
Do you think some of it is personality? Like, if you're a good person, quote unquote, you know, and loyal to the craft, like, you think it goes a long way, don't it?
Yeah, once you've put a bit of effort in, then someone will definitely, do you know what I mean? You could probably come along and meet me, and I'd be like, after a few weeks, like, I'd probably point it out that your graph was shit, do you know what I mean? I'd be like, it's this toy, bro, you've got to, like, I can't graph with you, like, and you'll keep doing this shit, so come on, like, I'll give you a little bit of a help, and you can bounce off of that. But if they came in a couple of weeks, they'd go, do you know what I mean? You wouldn't bother. So when you see them putting the effort in, like,
Yes, bless us.
I think 10 Foot's a good story for that. He came in with, do you know what I mean? He was doing his throw around London, and I think it was Spat that was like, bruv, like, you're smashing it, but that, do you know what I mean? Do this. Like, we had the 1T crocodile, which was like, do you know what I mean? The 1 and a T, and it looked like a crocodile, had the eyes on that, and then he give 10 Foot the crocodile, and then 10 Foot kind of give it a mix with the Bodhi kind of thing, do you know what I mean? 10 Foot even calls it the 1T Bosed infused cat throw up, do you know what I mean? So it all comes from somewhere, like, it all comes from some kind of style, do you know what I mean?
Great.
Definitely, like, Force Phlegm, like, he linked Spat, the outline came from Spat, Phlegm's outline and fucking style developed into what he's got his own thing now, which is sick, do you know what I mean? But I think definitely to conform to the London style of writing and to, like, I'm not saying this is my opinion, I'm not saying everyone should or they has to, but if you want to have that London style, then you definitely need influence, and it has to be someone that's around you rather than looking at it. Do you know what I mean? Someone says, okay, it's here, that's an outline, then they've given you permission to, do you know what I mean, go through with that. I do get it when people say, oh, they're biting, but that's only if you've not been presented it as a gift, do you know what I mean? Here's this outline, you can learn from this.
And
like,
adapt it accordingly.
Yeah, adapt it accordingly. Everyone's going to adapt it accordingly. No one goes off and does exactly what that person's given them. They get their own adaptations on it, and eventually they start, do you know what I mean, moulding it into how their graph looks. And
it kind of evolves as all the
definitely,
circumstances unravel.
Definitely, but you got to start out somewhere, and everyone starts out whack, do you know what I mean? No one starts out fucking good in this game. We're all toys. We're all toys to start with, so yeah, so it's a nice journey, man.
Give me some 1T related story. I want some golden oldies. Golden oldies. So actually, let's go to squat parties, because there's always going to be some
squat parties was definitely that's where I
shenanigans.
met 1T, man. So me and Maine started going to a few squat parties. Maine found out about squat parties. I came back from holiday one year and he was like, bruv, we're going to this squat party. I was like, yeah. Cool, went there, done an abundance of drugs, and it was fucking fun as fuck. And yeah, it was a wild time, do you know what I mean? But then met some key players in the game, like Spat, Spat 1T, and I was like, bruv, like, when I met him, I was like, you're everywhere in London, you're all city, everywhere I go, I see your tag.
Yeah, you didn't fuck about.
How do you do it, bro? Yeah. He was like, I'm going to tag, fucking like...
It's where the mushrooms
like
kick in and it all starts going merging.
And then, so I've gone down to, I think my first girlfriend was living in Egham at the time, Royal Holloway, and I'm down Stainsway anyway, so I'm going down there to meet her and stay at her, like, student accommodation, whatever, her halls of residence and that, and I'm getting off the train in Staines and Egham and all these places out of London now, and everywhere I'm getting off, I'm seeing Spat tags again. I'm like, this guy must have like got off of every train station on the way to fucking Scotland and just banged the whole of England. Like, it's my conception of it now. Like, I've gone back to squat party, seen him. I was like, bruv, you're everywhere. You're even in Staines and like out there. Like, how the hell do you do it? He's like, I'm actually originally from down there. I was like, banging. Can you get yours
you
that
went that
down
way.
there? Like, yeah. So it was another like. Yeah, that was on, like, Spat definitely introduced me to, like, the other writers from 1T, Seal and Surf, big up Seal and Surf.
Big up Seal and Surf, that's fucking
Original Don,
absolutely.
Brothers Myth. Evade, another original writer, don't really write at the moment. As I say, Reeves was still in jail at that point, so I didn't meet Reeves for another year or two. Tough Vent, that was another two brothers that I met with, got close. NEP, never empty pockets, should I say, for these lads. But yeah, that was a little like sub crew of like WMB, SFL, 1T. Do you know what I mean? Feel like all
Jesus.
Met Spat, met the crew, and then yeah, I guess the rest is history. Squat parties became a thing of the past because we all grew up and realised that it just as fun as it was, there was a lot of like wicked things going on in there, do you know what I mean? And you, like, either stay and play along, or you, do you know what I mean? You slip out and get, do you know what I mean? Become, do you know what I mean, a lot purer in your life, yeah, man. Flipping, no, stories, man, there's lots of them to tell.
Yeah.
Lots
Give
of them,
me some graph stories. Give me some near overexcited near death experiences.
Yeah, I used to bang. You know, I was from Tottenham originally, innit? So there weren't really major amounts of graff down there. It was only when I started moving, like going around the back of Green Lanes, Haringey,
Right.
down the alleyways, I started seeing like the real graffers, like Fume. It's definitely one of the first tags I see, man.
Nice.
I'll never forget that tag, because as soon as I went home, I was writing it for hours on a bit of paper, how sick it flowed.
My
and,
guy
like,
was everywhere.
That's when I started learning that
everywhere.
this shit actually has to have some fucking flow. But come
Crazy.
from Tottenham, like, it's more BRs around there, do you know what I mean? There's not really any tubes apart from Northumberland Park. And I used to just sit on the platforms at White Hart Lane, Bruce Grove, because it's kind of lawless back then in the late 90s, early noughties. There weren't no barriers at the train stations. There weren't no SGs and the fucking ticket inspectors, ticket office. It was just like stairs onto a platform. Yeah, so we used to I used to go there, sit by myself a lot of times and just jump off, wait for the train to come on the other side of the platform, jump off, do a quick throw up, jump back up. But this time I was getting a train. I weren't there to do that. I was getting a train to Enfield, and I see the train land on the other platform, and I just, like, without thinking, I jumped down and started banging it, and didn't, like, totally totally went out of my mind that my train was about to arrive, innit? So my train pulled in on the other side, and I'm between them, do you know what I mean? When it's between two trains like that, it kind of starts wobbling you, and that train drivers were screaming at me. I jumped up, kicked out, and they never really done that again, do you know what I mean? I guess when you have that kind of fear, you don't want to do it again, do you know what I mean?
No.
I've had some funny run-ins over the years, you know what I mean, with graff, like, been caught a few times, but only been nicked once, managed to get away a few times, you know what I mean? Get security, caught me, about to take me BTs, and, like, I've just jumped back on the tracks knowing they can't follow you, do you know what I mean? Had a few mad nights meeting other writers on tracks and that, a few wild ones in the back in the day, do you know what I mean? But, yeah, nothing too excitable. I met Banksy on a roof once in Shoreditch.
You did what? Yeah, talk to me about that.
Yeah, it's in a book, actually. I think it's definitely on Google, and I'm pretty sure it's in a book. It's, I was sitting at a bus stop with my baby mum, and she pointed up and said, "Look, there's someone graphing up there. You don't have to save." I think she said there's someone and pointed, and I was gone, like, up onto the roof. I was like, "Yo, let me use your tin, bro." And I looked at what he was writing. I think he slipped up, like he started writing BAN instead of BAK instead of BAN. I was like, "What'd you write, Banksy?" He was like, "No." I was like, "Yeah, it definitely says Banksy, but can I use your paint?" And he gave me a half Coca-Cola bottle with, like, paintbrush in it and some pink paint. I was like, "This ain't paint." I went and done a TDO next to him. TDO, quickly give him his paint back. It was kind of rough. I said, "Cool, I'm Reach." Anyway, I was like, "Cool, Banksy, I'm Reach." He was like, "Yeah, no, I'm not banging." I was like, "I don't give a fuck, bruv. Like, blessed. keep doing your thing." Like, jumped down and looked back up where I was sitting at the bus stop. My baby mum looked back up, and I could see him. I could see him going over the TDO, do you know what I mean? Because it was paint, like, and a paintbrush on a brick wall. Like, it wasn't really easy to do. I just kind of give up. I was expecting some big fat pink dot fucking pink spray paint, but it wasn't that.
No.
And then, like, yeah, a few months later, someone pointed out that it was on the internet saying that the bank TDO crew was painting. Banksy was here. Did we work for him? When we had our gallery in Shoreditch, we had a little gallery in Shoreditch around the early noughties. The council came in at one point and was like, "Yeah, it's amazing what you're doing, all the workshops and blah, blah." Cause we're doing a lot of workshops for the Bengalis and that round there, do you know what I mean? TEFL courses for, like, women, do you know what I mean?
Wow.
Plus we was doing the exhibitions on the weekend.
Yeah.
And they come up, bear in mind, we squatted this place. We broke the window and, like, squatted it, section 6, like, in the noughties.
Wow.
And the council come in, they would kind of let us do our thing, and they was like, "Which one of you's Banksy?" Like, bruv, I was creasing. I was like, But we squat this building, we're broke. Like,
Yeah,
we've
yeah,
got
yeah,
a
yeah.
penny, like, we're giving it back to the community. That's all we're doing.
Do you
know
see
what I mean?
Banksy in this?
Yeah, we
Who
definitely
lives in a house
Banksy,
like
he's got
this?
No money for, like, we wish. Do you know what I mean, he definitely was in the local vicinity. Do you know what I mean? Doing his thing, but
It's prevalent back
yeah,
then.
man.
That whole street.
Yeah, Shoreditch before it was hip. That's what we was doing back then, man. Before it was hip, when it was still rough and ready. Do you know what I mean? But I remember Shoreditch 10 years before that when we was going to squat parties in like the tea building on the corner.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Going to big Mayday parties where it was like multi-rigs. It was like
Mad.
12 rigs fucking going up every floor in the building. Do you know what I mean? Good times, man.
Yeah.
Shoreditch has seen a lot.
Yeah, it has seen a lot, and it's encouraged, and careers have blossomed because of it.
Yeah, definitely, man. Look at it now. It's like it's a hub for art. You can go there now and just do graffiti on the roads. Like, there was only the Brick Lane legal wall maybe 15, 20 years ago, and now it's like, it's a free-for-all, do you know what I mean? And you can do commissions there, productions, you know what I mean? It's definitely a good place to start anyway. If you're not in Leek Street, you're in Shoreditch, if you want to do your graph and not have a real problem about it. You can do some pieces. You know what I mean? I like that about graph now, that like hoardings around building sites, you can paint pieces there now. It's pretty much allowed. Do you know what I mean? You're not really gonna get nicked for it. If you do, it's a bit of a do you know what I mean? Bit of an unlucky one. But yeah, I like that graffiti's become more, as I said earlier on, more generally like accepted in society, because it was always there. It was never going to leave. Do you know what I mean? It's just, it's nice to know we're being acknowledged now. Like, yeah, it's good, man.
There's I mean, you're a man of the culture, you know, and all facets. You know, not just one. You're a fan as much as a participant.
Definitely.
I think what makes you a rare case in your attitude to this, I think, correct me if I'm wrong, but you know, if you start on the ground upwards with nothing, and you see the thing that you believe in and love so much, you know, grow fruit, becomes fruitful, becomes this thing. I mean, it's hard not to celebrate. It's almost like a bit of a told you so to the establishment, and it's really nice to see.
Definitely.
And I rate that.
I never
that
thought
you.
it would. To be honest, in my eyes, graffiti never was. It was. Do you know what I mean? It was a massive like no. Do you know what I mean? Like, I remember speaking to someone. Who was saying to me, like, I remember I was listening to drum and bass, like, maybe 15 or 10 years ago, and they were like, before it became mainstream, before it really blew up in the way it has drum and bass, before, like, do you know what I mean? Garage was amazing, but it kind of died, do you know what I mean? There's not really been a future in garage. It evolved, but jungle went into drum and bass, and it's massive. It's international now, like,
Crazy.
It's gone crazy, do you know what I mean? I remember one of my mates, or maybe it was a girl that I was chatting to, was like, why you listen to that shit? Like, it will never fucking work. And I was like, it fucking will. Like, it will come through one day, but I didn't have that belief for graffiti. So, yeah, seeing that it is, like, I told you so. Well, less of a told you so, more of a like, yeah, this is amazing. Like, let's celebrate. But also, at the same time, I think it's righteous for the people that put in the work for so long to gain the fruitfulness of it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
fucking right.
There's a lot of, do you know what I mean? A lot of
heartache, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears.
Yeah, a lot of blood, sweat, and tears. People put their whole
injuries.
life into it. Do you know what I mean? Whole life into this, like zombie. Do you know what I mean? Big writers in London that deserve way more than they're getting. Do you know what I mean? And then you get like, I don't know, some artists will come in and like, I'm not like trying to get on to anyone. Do you know what I mean? So I won't mention any names, but like, they'll mimic something that's been done, like, you know, some like, I don't know, Keith Haring stuff, do you know what I mean? Repeat it, do it, do you know what I mean? And then all of a sudden they're blown to the end of the fucking Richter scale, do you know what I mean? Getting sponsors from everywhere, doing collaborations, just like, you had no, like, input into this apart from, like, you use something and you know what I mean? He was in the right place at the right time and monetized off of it, which I don't really rate. It's my opinion, but I don't really rate. I think in any walk of life you have to put the work in, man. Do you know what I mean? For the fruits to be bared. And if you don't, and you slip into a loophole, and you done it, well done. Do you know what I mean? I'm not discrediting you, but I think the value of it will always shine through more with the real writers.
100%. And also the contributive aspect of it, like, and again, just going back to your viewpoint of the culture, it's contributive.
Yeah.
You know, you've got to, you put in.
Yeah, man.
important, isn't it?
Yeah, has to be. Has to be. I think it's probably shown that way in more like in New York now and places like that, where there was probably the boom of graffiti when it became accepted was like 15 years or maybe more before London and UK. Do you know what I mean? It got accepted.
Yeah.
Then you had all these people that sort of jumped in on it and was like, yeah, I'm going to be part of this. You know, this is me. Like, look, we can do this. Like, art's cool now. Do you know what I mean? And then throughout the years, the people that carried on with the consistency, like, didn't drop off because the money didn't come through or, you know, the scenes
They just fucking did
coped
it.
to whatever,
Yeah.
you know, whatever people's discrepancies with him is. Like, fucking T-Kid, I watched that thing the other day, man. I can't believe I missed that one because he's one of my original fucking... Do you know what I mean? Inspirations for Graff, the Terrible T-Kid or
Come
the
on.
Nasty Terrible
Good
T-Kid.
peoples as well.
do you
Big
know
up
what I
T.
mean? Big up T-Kid, man.
He
Do you know what
watches
I
the
mean?
podcast.
Like,
Big that up.
these people shone through in the end because it was a love and a passion. So these are the people that are still there now. And do you know what I mean? The ones that are actually getting appreciated. And I think that will happen the same for the UK scene. Do you know what I mean? People will come and go, but the true lovers of graffiti will always stay. Do you know what I mean? There'll always be a graffer in your, do you know what I mean? In spirit. So it can never die. Do you know what I mean? You'll still be doing the outlines. Hearing that T-Kid say yesterday, he's like a machine. He just outlines and outlines every day because it's what he loves.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Eventually, it has to be fruitful. Do you know what I mean? If it isn't in our lives, it will definitely be in a museum somewhere in do you know what I mean? In the history book. So yeah, we're definitely making history. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, indeed.
Definitely making
Indeed.
history.
Having you on a podcast, we're making some history.
Yeah.
What's the future, my brother? What is the future?
Future,
For the Reach
I love Graff, man. I still want to do my throw-ups and still I'm banging the throw-ups at the moment. That's my thing at the moment.
Fucking great.
Love piecing, love dubbing, love everything, but like the consistency of a throw-up and how crispy clean
It's
it
a
is.
beautiful
I think
thing.
Yeah, beautiful thing. And it's definitely a big part of London culture, 100% of throw-up, do you know what I mean? Throw-ups in London have always been fucking, do you know what I mean? The good ones have always been sick, like, one of the best throw-up culture in the world. I'm being biased, but yeah. Future now is I've got my studio set up in my room at the moment. Hopefully get a bigger space soon. Yeah, I've got all my pens and paint and bits and bobs and different mediums, paint brushes. Do you know what I mean? All my stuff set up. I do a lot of work at home now. Do you know what I mean? Spend my evenings or whatever time I'm not. Do you know what I mean? With my kids or. Do you know what I mean? Grafting to make a pound. I'll be in my room. Do you know what I mean? Getting down to something. I've usually got 3-4 canvases on the go. Do you know what I mean?
Fucking great.
3-4 canvases on the go because I've noticed that if you haven't got a few going, then you're on drying time. Do you know what I mean? You wait for something to dry and you end up maybe getting a bit too eager. So I'll have things on rotation and be like, right, I can't do nothing more to that.
Yeah.
Put that in the little drying rack and then get out to the next piece.
Drying rack, you know?
Yeah, well, I built my
Drying
own little,
rack.
Yeah, I built
Serious.
my own. I'm not saying studio, it's in my bedroom, but I've built enough, do you know what I mean?
I love it.
Colour-coded pens, so I know what drawers have got
Yeah.
the blues and the, do you know what I mean?
Fucking
The blues and
great.
the greys and the fucking blacks, do you know what I mean? Yeah. I'm a bit like that. I'm a bit ADHD when it comes to shit like that. So it's all in this little, do you know what I mean?
It's fucking great.
Little file effects. Fucking Graff, man. Yeah, so yeah, I'm more doing like...
Go on, man.
I've done a little character for like, I'd say I've been doing it for 15, 20 years, this character, but never really brung it to the streets because I'm just always developing on it. I think it was definitely Reese that I see do it first. It's like a bear, turn it into a dog now, but... Yeah, he's like, it's something that I've spent a lot of time developing, and I think like maybe now's the right time to start pushing that. But you know, we'll see, innit? If you see it around, you see it around. If
Unleash
you
your
don't, you know
beast,
that
see?
it wasn't ready. Yeah.
Oh, see, the problem is now it's been said on podcast now, so...
Yeah, it has to be done now. Yeah, I've set myself to
You
pace.
say
So,
so.
yeah, man, I definitely could go out and do that. Do you know what I mean? I always think about go out and do. I'll happily pull over like during the day. I've never really been a planned, but as I say, when I say the way of life for graffiti, for me, it's never really. Yeah, there was times where we planned to do a dub. If you'd done a yard, you'd have to scope it and do the business. But for me, it was, as I say, a way of life where it would always have, like, if I was going out in the morning, I'd have a pen in my pocket. Do you know what I mean? If I went past a hardware shop, I'd try and rob a dub, do you know what I mean? Get onto the roads, like, onto the bus, stainering up the bus. And it's still like that for me now. I drive around in my car, going to a job in East London, if I see a little like spot that I like that looks calming, I don't care if it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon. I'll pull over, pull my car in. Do you know what I mean? Walk down to the spot, do a quick throw up, do you know what I mean? If you like to do a throw up, you bust it quick, back in the car. Do you know what I mean? Tins in the back or whatever, and carry on. Like it's always been a part of my day-to-day like life. Do you know what I mean? I think it always will. Yeah.
It's art played in life.
Yeah, yeah, definitely like that.
Yeah. It's kind of what it's about, isn't it?
Yeah,
and you embody that, my brother. Fantastic. And it's just great to hear that you've got product building, working.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Evolving, trying to, you know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't say veer away from the graph, always keep it there, but do other things within that art world that will, do you know what I mean? That will be more accepted in society. You know, more like, you know what I mean? It's hard, I get it. It's hard for the general public to look at graffiti and understand it. But when they look at like a character, you know, like Abbott's put in some sick characters,
serious
you know
work,
what I mean?
yeah.
Like it's more like it's more acknowledged, you know what I mean? People like when I started doing my character on the streets recently, people like stopping and be like, oh my god, so cute, like like if I was doing a dub, they'd, you know what I mean? It'd be like,
yeah. It's that's the honey trap. That's the honey trap. Get the characters in.
Like, get the characters. You know what I mean? Develop on your characters. Everyone will do it naturally. You can develop on your characters or go with a lettering and start going into tattooing or, do you know what I mean? But definitely evolving from graffiti and taking something from it and, you know, using it for the better is definitely, I think, the whether you're doing workshops, you know, kids' workshops, teaching them graffiti, teaching people how to express, you're doing tattooing, do you know what I mean? You're selling canvases in an exhibition. If you've done that, then you've definitely succeeded and achieved what you needed to achieve and used the graffiti for a better purpose, do you know what I mean? Whereas you can go the other way with graffiti. You can get into bad places and get into, do you know what I mean, stupid situations with people, do you know what I mean? I've been there, but I've been out there doing silly things, do you know what I mean? So yeah, it can definitely go the other way, drugs and, do you know what I mean, greed and, do you know what I mean? But if you take it if you take it less with greed and more with, do you know what I mean, the mind thought of you're doing this so you can get by rather than trying to become something, do you know what I mean? Then yeah, maybe it'll work out better. Who knows? It's my opinion. I'm no fucking master, do you know what I mean? I'm just working through it.
Yeah, but wise, sage advice and wise words.
Yeah, thank you.
That's the sentiment. I mean, it's certainly the sentiment of the podcast, and it's been an absolute pleasure having you.
Thank you. Big up. I want to say big up Percy. Big writer in London.
Yeah, big up Percy.
Now. Yeah, he's smashing it. Absolute kid. He's a fucking little kid, bruv. Absolute
killing it
king,
off.
do you know what I mean? So many more to mention. Like, yeah, man. But I rate all you young writers.
We got Baser as well. Old type Baser.
Yeah. But all of them, bruv. All of these young bucks, like they're coming through with their stuff, and it's good to see, man. And I respect all of you. Do you know what I mean? One love to all of you. Do you know what I mean? You're all well and truly like established in the graffiti scene. I like to see it pilot. All these man,
Big up Pilot.
Killing it, man.
Fume Talks 10.
Yeah, they go without saying, man. Them guys have been doing it for years.
Yeah.
Fume has kept DDS steady for a very long time, do you know what I mean? He's putting a lot of work, so respect to him. And he, one of the first writers I see in fucking best feels I ever see on a piece was from Fume, man. Do you know what I mean? Inspired me to want to be like a sick writer with some crispy, clean pieces that look like you can't
Aggression.
you can't fault it. Like it's do you know what I mean? Unbreakable. Like big up all the writers, big up all the London writers and all the writers around the world, man. America to the other side as well, man. Let's fucking man. Respect, bro. We're all here as one.
We're all here. One T. Whoa. And if that doesn't inspire you, then I don't know what's going to inspire you, but if it does inspire you, you know what to do. Listen, plenty of podcasts, loads more in the back archive as well. Listen, crime don't pay, but neither do they. Don't talk to an island, people, and you stay lucky. Nice one, Reach.
Yes, bro. Bless, one love. Come on.
Peace. Hey.